the briefing I got this morning, and let me commend the national security operatives and the law enforcement agencies. The information I got this morning is that already they've traced about 40 of them to a particular terminal or warehouse in Pung, which belongs to an Indian man of extraction, and they've confiscated all the 40 containers, and they are moving them to a secured location. The man indicates that those containers were sold to him last year, and so that's a subject of a matter of investigation, and the law enforcement agencies would ensure that the law takes its course. There are also reports of some other areas that they are picking intelligence. They will trace all of them, retrieve all the containers as soon as possible, and put the perpetrators before the courts of competent jurisdiction. Let me just sound that when we start prosecuting these people, let nobody come to say we are witch hunting. These are properties of the states. Every legitimate and legal means to ensure that we retrieve them and to hold all those behind these acts to account. And so we'll continue to work hard and ensure that we retrieve all these containers. Picked up this Indian in connection with this.
And it was signed by Honorable Felix Kwachofosu.
Yeah.
And now someone walking in and say, Omampani Ashe, a year consultation process be Ashe. Which consultation process is in respect of the removal of a Chief Justice. Intimi hu krata nam say, hey, I did some nebe. I'm so okay. Then my main first wants to know what is happening. Only for me to find out that, yes, as the president said, there have been 3 petitions. And petition, no, me petition maybe. But because it is not in the public domain, and because it cannot also be discussed in the public, the proceedings of the removal of a Chief Justice will have to be done in camera. And so I will hold on with the reasons for the removal of the Chief Justice. But Minya, my mention one junior bibiso. Your constitution no a boy brano since 1992. Constitution no yaji tumu si efanya adwuma no. Enye bibia every day yadi buman no ani atro e wo constitution no. Potokasem no. There is a letter, or if like there is a letter of the constitution. And in instances where black and white yentro our constitution no, you can also impugn a meaning into it based on the spirit of the constitution. The Supreme Court judge be our being pa so what JSC also so church constitution no more. It is the combined effect of the letter and the spirit of the constitution. And no debate to me the intent of the framers of the constitution no matter in a paper yati aseye. In the chapter 7 of the 1902 constitution one. And no, the representation of the people. Electoral Commission. Because what you say, constitution no, how to remove the Electoral Commission from office has not been stated under chapter 7 of the 1902 constitution. It has nothing, whether letter or spirit under articles under chapter 7 of the 1902 constitution to deal with the removal of an electoral commission. Now, you know, Supreme Court judge see, I'm on my interpreting constitution. I mean, who say so? So, ye electoral commissioner, even though you enjoy our constitution, name will be you know, this is Article 146 said ye judges no the same way near the electoral commission.
Okay.
And it has not been stated in the constitution, but it has been interpreted by way of the letter and the spirit of the constitution. And Ghana, Sir Judge Bia Etnase, na what Shaya Mrenum no interpreter, especially the Supreme Court, which is clothed with the interpretative jurisdiction of our constitution. They do so by way of what the Interpretation Act is saying. What is it saying? It says that Ghana, so we interpret the constitution, you interpret it by way of a modern purposive approach. Before we got here, na Ghana, and I say we are fanai. So we interpretation, based on Bibi and your friend, the mischief rule. It was classically stated in the case of the Hayden. Until law student be an answer lawyer, the Hayden's case, mischief rule. And the name one nearby be a friend the literal rule. She said, Diana, the letter, and I said, Diana, you a black and white, which was stated in the success peerage case. Inti, what for book no? Kratano, black and white, Diana, and you say, there are times, who say, you tried the name, no, said the atron, no, say, oh, man, the same meaning, Sebi, Edin Sunso, Beba, or Manim. And I said this is so about community. So the judges also propounded the golden rule, which was said or stated in the case of the Gray versus Pearson. And the no, they are trying to say, oh, Ubons are the trying to say, so the judges will give a meaning, which is the golden rule, which will be different from what has been stated in the constitution. And the Eddie Muababe drew Sambre idea modern purposive interpretation. Now, modern purposive interpretation idea. The trainer say, when you are interpreting the constitution, do not lose sight of two things, two critical things: the letter and the subject. A dear na dear no. The intent of the framers of the constitution no person omoka dia na no person omochire enti say akwase boaje me do ko article 146 na constitution no nchen na nka obaboa me ya 146 no eka assembly. And you see the whole of the article 146 no, it deals with two things. What are the two things? How a Supreme Court judge can be removed. Said ye Supreme Court judge. You see, me can remove the nature say me akra no. I said His Excellency John Dramani Mahama by Sinacha Sakwakoya anya fire. I'll fire you. You have been fired. If you have not been fired, your appointment has been terminated. If you have not been terminated, you have been dismissed. If you have not been dismissed, you have been removed. Just no within three months. But 146 no. No mami no. But I can say ye be yi a Supreme Court judge. Ana de tosu mienu. Saying ye be yi a Chief Justice. This is the fulcrum in its entirety. What Article 146 deals with. Mind you, the Chief Justice is first and foremost a Supreme Court judge. It is obey a Supreme Court judge. Osho Constitution Article 1463. Honeka 3 they say, if the president receives a petition for the removal of a justice of a superior court other than the Chief Justice, or for the removal of a chairman of a regional tribunal, say, he shall refer the petition to the Chief Justice, who shall determine whether there is a prima facie case. A prima facie case. Emphasis mine. In the judges now, Supreme Court judges now holding in ano, which the Chief Justice is one of them. Say, yeah, the petition be nowhere in the Constitution, especially Article 146, and the how a prima facie case and whom is clothed with the power or jurisdiction to establish a prima facie case against the Chief Justice. In this Ukoyi Puama and as a Bafuboni and as a Kulindia Ukoyi sa Supreme Court judges here. President Nina petition no President no or their petition by Chief Justice, not Chief Justice establishing a prima facie case.
Yeah.
But if it is about the Chief Justice who establishes the prima facie case, because if you come to Article 146(6) it talks about what the president is supposed to do when it comes to the Chief Justice. I was about it. Say, President, in the Supreme Court judge petition, no the comma Chief Justice there, and the Chief Justice there no. It is the president who is supposed to establish the prima facie, even though I concede that it has not been stated clearly in the Constitution, but the combined effect of the letter and the spirit of the Constitution, and if you want to give it a modern purposive approach of the Constitution, then it is the president who will establish the prima facie, and I'll prove to you why. I'll prove to you why.
Okay.
My whole day no ejina 1466.
Okay.
Yan kind 6 no. The 6 says that where the petition is for the removal of the Chief Justice, the president, acting in consultation with the Council of State, shall where the petition is for the removal of the Chief Justice, the president shall, acting in consultation with the Council of State, appoint a committee consisting of 2 justices. In terms of President Jumadi Ediamano, the Jumadi Ediamano one say, so you na address or consult the Council of State, or call say, or appoint a committee, or establish a prima facie case. But what
yeah.
Or cause or establish a committee. But I am also suggesting to you that before a committee will have to be appointed to investigate the Chief Justice, Constitution under Article 11, Emma President no can say the president may at any time revoke suspension under this article. That is Article 146 of the Constitution. But what you say? Are you listening to me very well?
Sure.
What that means is that as soon as a president they trigger the consultation process, from how president bet me suspend the Chief Justice. What does the suspension mean? The suspension means that my right or the Chief Justice's right is going to be affected. Anytime that a decision is supposed to be made to affect the right of anybody, please do not lose sight of the basic and the cardinal principle in law when it is about a person's right, and that cardinal basic principle in law is natural justice. And so si ejutum say a president never establish a prima facie case in dia any president, because you are going to establish a prima facie case against me, the spirit and the modern purposive approach of interpretation of the Constitution should suggest to you that please listen to my comment, hear my responses. On that basis, it will inform your decision as to whether indeed you are going to now get to the Council of State. It's a Council of State and appointed committee. And that's all appointed crowd. And you see, in the case of Ajechum versus AG and Akwete, that case, you could see the intent of that bar. The intent of that bar was that let me find a way to sieve, or if you like, to prevent unnecessary, frivolous, vexatious petitions. I am Crophobe I call president. Now, call president. Then you can say, oh, share the letter of Article 1466. No, just the president or go consult Council of State. No more form your committee, and you better form committees because you can have about 50 petitions that will be given to the president in a month, and they will form committees for all these petitions. So Datiba was of the opinion that yes, a prima facie case will have to be established, and it is my understanding that it's a prima facie case in President Bear established here, then we can sieve or we can prevent unnecessary and frivolous petitions that will have to move from the presidency to the Council of State, which will warrant the formation of so many committees. And that is why I am going to court. That per my and
it's Michelle Mampini for intimate 5 minutes. Prof. 5 minutes.
Well,
yeah.
Kakra me de be kan Reverend de ho ne se. Ye nyina ye wo man mu na yate ye nim de bi omu ka kire yen aban ni aban nyumakuo e de ECG ka. Minua Vincent na wa ha to de bi a parliament kra ye se ye betwa mu light meeting ne bre bi a atwam. Aban ni aban nyumakuo ministries bebre e de ECG ka. E na ECG nso niam aba begu port. O de asenti yes sika no a mo Jimmy sign wa port ebi ase meji wo sei
na port no kwa you
oh yes e be a port for the neka say selected state institutions enti mo aban o de meka sei me so me niam abegu port ho eno so ye sei ye tete free mu a na menyi me niam e ka bi sin ka bi me nu akwasi e ka bi ansin e ka bi enti ECG for na minim procurement ne Ghana say ne ye niam no na e bi a e the cause of the issue nya say ECG were lawyers and business no adeboni bie nim ne muda ho fine there and nka woni sika da ho nimpo a ne ane ne deal no so de woka. Government owes ECG. That's what we have been told, unless I be aban to an Kenyan awie e kana o de me ne yesen oh me so me niam abegu ho butter trade unya sika ne mfa ma me dia ene ma me mfa nyi me niam esi wa enti me dia asem mom de twetwe aso. There are more questions than answers. Na me name Reverend Osu Charles ebe ya adwene say eniema ne momu de se wutie ya energy minister minu agina Paul ni mpanifo aka mutie ya press conference we are not enye de like this is not fun. This is not fun. You can't just come and say oh can I den o person just say aban na twam nipa na wi na say aban ye move in the first 3 months ye mu na enkrofo asesa na o bebo mama ne say menye den. The next time you mount the podium, I don't want to see pictures of China phobia nebe fire na then phobia nebe fire. You see, report that. Attract Togo like me say o ma be you dey across the borders of this country na.
You nimo.
Na me no kwesi try say who you car back or port home you sure say why experience be pain. After the long and come nyina na. Hey 9,000.
Now the baby na bra breno.
Hey, na mo person much like I don't even want to hear this. We are just playing here. We are joking in this country. Minister don't have to do a press conference over this. National security one. This is a threat to the state. So a security zone like the port. Niamana, can you imagine how many ebia armory? Ayanti ebia obi afade edeko. Because it's in the same adi. Electricity and national security. Afadeko. Is that how easy things are taken off the port? Nanye mo ye hwan. Na kwabrane de ne ka ketu ebi ba de no de mo de all the energy egu kwabrane ne so. Asizi ne ka. Me tu me ka sa port open. In fact, say na me share no na ka say ebi di ka ba na me yi mu niam and ebi. Unfortunately, delays at the origin, the dispatch ninti no. Ema niam mpe ni mum ne di ka ba nyesa me mpe but niam na e na expensive and ka me nyawe kakra de so agro yen komra my things were seized at the port. Now, this is not news.
Okay.
This is not fun.
Okay.
We don't want press conference over this. National security, Obia should be questioned. Authorities at the